One of the most challenging things about posting daily YouTube videos is coming up with things to talk about. For the last few days, I've been trying to highlight some of the things that I'm doing a little differently to help foster my creative side. And so far, I think it's having a positive effect. Um, just the act of coming up with different ways to list my products for sale that I'm trying to sell on Facebook Marketplace to declutter. But also, I've decided to start watching anime regularly just to get some, inspiration as far as like storytelling and, just things that I can watch that aren't um, so heavy or not the usual humdrum things that I watch. And for some reason I think this may this may actually help foster some more creativity with within me. So I've been trying to highlight that these last few days. And when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, I was usually it takes me like the entire day to kind of figure out exactly what I want to talk about, especially when I don't do anything particularly interesting. Like today. I mean, so I was kind of thinking about why it took me so long to start a YouTube channel. And I was kind of going through and thinking about all the ideas that I had for a YouTube channel and and me feeling like, if I did do a YouTube channel, I got to come out with the most awesome production, flawless, got all my ducks in a row. I have to come out the gate smoking, right? Because who wants to be online looking like they don't know what they're doing? Not this guy. That was, my mindset because I I overthink a lot of things. I'm a recovering perfectionist to a certain degree. So I would just feel like everything has to be perfect before, I do it. Everything has to be, lined up because if I don't have it's like all or nothing, all or nothing mentality that I'm working on overcoming and posting daily on YouTube is definitely helping with that. I still have my challenges here and there with you know needing structure, and craving to have more structure, and but I'm doing pretty good with that, with toning the need for that down and just trusting myself more to speak and just speak naturally, and and just thinking about the reasons why I didn't start sooner. Just feeling like I had to have all of the perfect gear. I had to have the perfect camera. I had to have like a whole studio set up. I had, extra bedroom, in my apartment. And that room is dedicated to just turning it into a studio to record videos and do live streams and do all these things. And I was just going through some of the bags that I have with a bunch of electronics. If you watched any of my other videos about moving and decluttering, you'll know that I have a lot of electronics. That's like the bulk of the things that I have because outside of actually just genuinely being interested in electronics and technology and always just getting the latest gadget and things of that nature just to figure out how it works and possibly use it and or use it for a short amount of time and then forget about it. But wanting to do a YouTube channel on top of that, compounding on top of already frivolous, occasionally frivolously spending on electronics wasn't helping my situation. So starting the YouTube channel, I'm like, okay, I gotta get a well, thankfully, I didn't get, a brand new camera or anything like that. And, watching YouTube videos, about just filming using, an iPhone. And I'm like, okay, cool. I got an iPhone. I can do that. So I was able to kind of dodge buying a brand new camera, even though I have bought a DSLR camera in the past years ago, but I no longer have it. But I'm glad I didn't buy another one once I realized, okay, you can film quality YouTube videos just using a iPhone. So I dodged that, bullet. But I'm just thinking about some of the other things that I've bought. Like I bought in my mind I was going to be traveling all over and just filming, not even just traveling, not like a travel vlogger or anything like that, but just, I'm out here in the world and I'm gonna just be filming while I'm out doing all these things. And so I bought this cool like gimbal, for mobile phones, and it does all of this cool stuff like automatically. And and I used it like a handful of times on some of the trips that I've taken, but I never posted that footage anywhere. I never I mean, I used it. I recorded some videos using it and stuff like that. But I never posted that footage. And then just thinking about all the different like LED lights and ring lights and things that I've bought over the years. I mean, I've bought like little, LED lights and little ring lights to attach to laptops. And I even bought this huge like LED light kit that I may or may not use in the future. Maybe, as my channel progresses and, matures and develops and I start creating more, quality productions, maybe I'll start incorporating that lighting. But I have a feeling that most likely I'm not going to, but I would like to think that I did, will. So yeah, just thinking about, and like, because my original idea, um I really wanted to start like a fan, like a sports commentary, like very informal, because I'm a NFL football fan, go Chiefs. And I was like, man, I really love a lot of the, fan pages um that I've seen. And I was like, man, I would love to do that because I enjoy talking about sports. I enjoy specifically talking about football, especially during football season. So, spoiler alert, you're most likely going to see content like that about football come this football season. But in any event, and so I'm, researching how they, how the live streams, how do they, get this, the different things across the screen, and what are they using to have these, flawless transitions and stuff. So I'm looking up all these gadgets. I end up buying like a stream deck because I'm like, oh, that's what they use to be able to just like transition into screens and do like animations and, sound effects and stuff. Okay, boom. Bet I'm gonna get a sound, I'm gonna get a stream deck because I need that for sure. And then just different types of webcams to be able to shoot like multiple angles and stuff. I mean, I'm just going, bananas, letting my imagination run wild with all the things that I believe I needed in order to even just have a YouTube channel that doesn't look like I'm starting from scratch, right? So ultimately I've gotten over that, as you can see. And I decided to do, that I wanted to accept the challenge of becoming a daily a daily YouTuber that posts daily videos because um I I was inspired or motivated. I was motivated to, become a daily poster by Glow Tanmo. And if she's super dope, and if you haven't, I suggest you, go check her channel out. She's a wealth of knowledge and wisdom. And so I was like, no, that's what I'm gonna do. And it still took me longer than I wanted it to take. It still ended up taking me 3 months to go ahead and just post. And I'm so glad I did because it's helping me get over having, getting over the the feeling of having the need to be perfect. And it's helping me learn a lot about myself and, helping develop my creativity. It's something that I definitely want, to work on. And so I'm just like glad that I was able to kind of get over that. And, my goal is, as the channel, and I might have just mentioned this, and I'm sorry if I have, but, as my channel matures and, develops, of course, having more quality, content, you know, better produced, editing, the whole nine. But right now, that's not where I'm at, and I'm okay with it. So, this was just what, came to mind today. And what's so crazy is it usually takes me pretty much the whole entire day to, you know, decide, what I want to talk about. I get ideas throughout the day, but as I'm working very hard to declutter and, unpack, because I still haven't unpacked everything, but a lot of that is because some of this stuff I haven't unpacked because I'm still deciding on whether or not I'm going to keep it or go ahead and donate it. It's not stuff that I necessarily want to sell. Um, but it's, in good condition and it's quality enough to, donate. So I haven't unpacked everything. I still have boxes because I'm ultimately just trying to decide what I want to do with a lot of the stuff. But um the stuff that I have, been unpacking and stuff like that, just I lost my train of thought. See, this is what happens um when I just, get on the camera and talk. But where was I going with that thought? Unpacking, just going with the flow, just thinking about, things to talk about. It usually takes me, the entire day just because I'm not sure, I come up with different ideas throughout the day, and it's usually because I'm like hustling and bustling throughout the day and I have something that I, find that, is interesting about today. But on the days where I don't really do too much, those are the days that are, harder to decide, what I want to talk about. So I just was thinking about, just the start of my YouTube journey, being 27 days in and, just starting to understand, what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Still trying to figure out some other things, some technologies that I would like to use, but I just haven't quite figured out just yet. And just certain things like that. And yeah, those were my thoughts for today. I just wanted to share and just offer a bit of, encouragement, especially if you're considering starting a YouTube channel, to just start. Just start. Don't worry about looking perfect because in the beginning, that's the best time, when you're still trying to figure it out. And you you may have already an idea of what you want to talk about, then go for it, but if not, I would say just don't be afraid to let, the ideas come to you, as you continue on. And I would just tell you to just post, if not, if if for nothing else for you, because that's ultimately what I'm, doing. I'm posting primarily for me, but also because I do have a desire to help others. And I'm just trying to hone in on how to do that the most effective way. And, you know, just posting my daily journey, um, in pursuit of, location, time, and financial freedom, and hopefully being able to, inspire and encourage people, you know, to go after the things that they want, in life as well. So those are just my thoughts for today, and I will leave you with that. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.